What's up, fellas?
Ooh.
Coming at you guys today with an album review. Today, we're going to be talking about the one and only Lingua Ignota's Caligula. Hell fucking yeah. Now, just as a little warning, this may be an extremely long video because I have a shit ton to say about this album, alright? So if you're not at work, if you're just chilling, trying to kill some time, stay tuned. So, the one and only Lingua Ignota. I've already had a bit of history with her, music-wise. Back, I think it was last year, I bought her first release, All Bitches Die, digitally on Bandcamp. Yeah, I bought it digitally on Bandcamp. I wasn't able to get the CD. They eventually did make CDs of it, but I never had a chance to get one. But yeah, All Bitches Die, that's a fucking great album. And that's kind of how I found out about her, was from All Bitches Die. Yeah. But with this new album, Caligula, she's combining three of the hardest genres to get into. Hard as in, difficult, challenging. Challenging is a good word. She's combining, three of the most challenging genres to get into. She's combining neoclassical, death industrial, and a little bit of power electronics. But, you know me, I love all three of those fucking genres. So, let's get going. First song we got is Faithful Servant of Christ. This is a beautiful opener. The neoclassical instrumentation and ambience really captures the vibe and aesthetic of the album. One thing about this album is there's a lot of dark religious symbolism, which I love. I fucking love that shit. Like some of my favorite albums ever, like Chelsea Wolfe's Apocalypsis and Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar, just it's still the same things that happen in the Bible, but it's from a darker perspective. I love that shit. But anyway, yeah, it's just when they use religious iconography, it adds a whole nother layer of depth and darkness, which I love. This song is beautiful. Her voice and the melody sounds holy and powerful. Very elegant. This is the greatest intro to an album that I've heard in a long ass time. Such a good song. This album is very cinematic, but we'll get to that later. Now we got the second track, Do You Doubt Me, Traitor? This was the single for Caligula. The piano solemnly playing, rattling instruments. Kristen, that's her real name. Lingua Ignota's real name. Her vocals are harrowing and filled with emotion as she quietly sings and croons in the beginning. I've paid attention to the lyrics and her social media, and a lot of this album has to do with different types of abuse. like, yeah, that's why I really identify with the album, because yeah, just the abuse and shit. Now as she chants, "Satan, get beside me." When I first listened to the single without the context of the album, like before it came out, I thought her delivery and lyrics were really melodramatic and corny. But now, listening to the whole album, this is a very powerful moment. She's both an amazing singer and an intense screamer. The fucking lyrics. The lyrics all over this album are just like pure dark poetry. Like, these lines specifically, the lyrics, "I don't eat, I don't sleep." She like chants it. First she like screams it over and over, then eventually the song calms down, she starts singing it. But yeah, "I don't eat, I don't sleep." Those lines like describe my life. I hate to get a little personal here, but I've been through a lot of abuse as a child, and not from like, it is like more like at school, but I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, lots of abuse, and her desperately screaming, "I don't eat, I don't sleep." It just fucking speaks to me, like, cause that's exactly how I am. Like, I have an eating disorder, I have a sleeping disorder, those are like two things that usually happen from like early childhood abuse. But enough about that shit, we're getting back to the music. Yeah. But the song eventually is evolved into bassy piano, and Kristen is just wailing and screaming her head off. The raw emotion and passion of her screams is very compelling. Eventually, the song ends with her clean singing, "I don't eat, I don't sleep." It's a very amazing song. Now we got the next track, "Butcher of the World." This track opens up somberly and ambiently. That's one thing about this album. Almost every track mixes quiet ambience with like harsh noise, and not harsh noise, like harsh instrumentation. And fucking Kristen's feral and like animalistic screaming. It's so good. Her screaming all over the horns and pianos and shit. It's just epic as fuck. Yeah, then there's in the song there's this crescendo. The instrumentation gets louder and noisier. Kristen is screaming hauntingly and desperately. It's very powerful. Most of the songs are pretty long too, but I don't mind. It eventually transitions to her singing over a piano and faint strings in the background. With this album, there are no cliche or boring moments. This whole album is just a giant fucking emotional thrill ride. Now we got the next track, "May Failure Be Your Noose." This is my favorite track. The lyrics and melody as she sings, "Who will love you if I won't? Who will fuck you if I won't?" It expertly sets up the theme of the song, which to my interpretation is about romantic and relationship abuse and hardships. Like, basically, this is, like I said, this is my interpretation, but she's saying that she is all that her love interest has. Like, she's trying to get that point across to the person. because if she leaves over the abuse, no one will love them and care for them like she would. It's genius songwriting. The failure that's implied and referred to, in my opinion, is the failure of their relationship. And the noose being the fact that her love interest is committing romantic suicide by mistreating her and abusing her and shit, because she knows that that she does so much, yet love interest the love interest just doesn't appreciate it or abuses her love and shit like that. It's really depressing. But yeah, a bit of a ways through the track, we get very power electronics influenced noises as she keeps singing the lines. Eventually, we get to part 2 of the song, which is arguably my favorite moment on the album. The melody of her singing, "Everything burns down around me, everything burns down." It's like, everything burns down around me. It's like catchy. It's probably the catchiest moment of the album. But yeah, really good shit. Hell yeah. Next up, we got Fragrant is My Many-Flowered Crown. This is another soft opening. There's this moment where she's harmonizing with herself, and the effect sounds like otherworldly. Such a strange yet amazing sound. This song is very piano driven, and there's one line that sticks out to me. It's here. Let me read it real quick. Brothers in arms, brothers in each other's arms, all the love God would allow, but all God's love means nothing now. That is just fucking brilliant. The piano is beautiful in this track. Kristen's singing is very emotional and passionately delivered. She is one hell of a vocalist. Her melodic vocal yelling near the end gives me fucking chills. Now we are on to If the Poison Won't Take You, My Dogs Will. Another lengthy track, a little over 6 or 7 minutes. The opening crash cymbals and Kristen vocalizing is very nice to listen to. It gets quiet, very quiet. Only her vocals and the piano are present. It's almost, I'd say it's chilling. This is another song about being abused in a relationship. Every word, melody, and scream is filled with sincere emotion and passion. And the fucking line, "Time heals nothing," that really, really, really fucking speaks to me. Hell yeah. Now we got the next track, Day of Tears and Mourning. It opens up with a brilliant organ piece. Like I've said 1,000 times, it's very cinematic. Then, boom! The drums come crumbling in with Kristen's black metal screaming. It's heavy, it's sludgy, it's very dark. It oozes in blackness. It's a good song. But I don't have much to say other than that, but it is still a gem of a song. Up next, we got Sorrow, Sorrow, Sorrow. Another quiet opener, which is pretty much like the theme of Caligula is the quiet openings that build up. But anyway, yep, it's a quiet opener. Kristen's vocals painting this picture of bleakness and hope. There's soft pianos that adds a more grand flavor to her singing. Her range and vibrato is tremendous. She is, like I said before, she is an intensely talented singer. And I think she composed most of the album too, which just fucking blows my mind even more. Next up is Spite Alone Holds Me Aloft. This track starts with a more ominous piano passage, very somber. I relate very much to the title of the song, Spite Alone Holds Me Aloft. Because, to get on another personal note, this album just brings out, like, a lot of, like, personal shit to me. But yeah, me personally, I am very vindictive when people do me wrong. Like, the vocals that she's screaming is "betray me." She sings with such emotion. Then the other lyrics turn into, like, blackened chaos. But near the end, the instrumentation is very good. Just listen to it for yourself. It's a great climax. Alright, next up, we got the song Fucking Death Dealer. It's the shortest song on the album. It has some very Eastern, I'd almost say Asian, like, style, like, string plucking. It's crazy. This album is fucking crazy, and I love it. It sets a really unique atmosphere. In the lyrics, she references some past songs like Butcher of the World and shit like that. Yeah, and it's the most calm and serene. I don't want to say tranquil, because there is still some intensity to it, but as far as the album goes, it's the most tame. Now we got the last song, I Am the Beast. This song directly transitions from Fucking Death Dealer. Another more calm and moody instrumental in the beginning. The pain in her voice as she bellows out the lyrics, I've said it a million times, but it's very moving. This may be her most emotional vocal performance of the whole album. And has, like, such simple yet powerful instrumentation. There's a very beautiful passage in the middle of the track. It's so artistically elite. It's, like, fucking awesome. But of course, the final crescendo, the final climax of the album, it's gripping. Like, more power electronics, more heavy drums and black metal screaming, all culminating to the record's final hurrah, you know? Yeah, it mixes every sonic texture and flavor that this album had to offer and creates its own entity. And fucking geniusly, very just well executed, because the end of the final song, it transitions into the beginning of the first song, Faithful Servant of Christ. It's just so fucking good. But yeah, it's a fucking amazing album. I think what separates Lingua Ignota from her other female industrial contemporaries like Puss Mary and Pharmacon and shit is Kristen has the most depth and artistic integrity. This album is a fucking masterpiece. So far, it's Caligula and Tyler, the Creator's Igor, that are tied for my favorite album of the year so far. But I mean, come on, it's not like there's gonna be a album drop that's better than Caligula or Igor. I still don't know which one I like more. But yeah, I see a lot of potential in Lingua Ignota. And this is like only like her second album, so she still has time to really cement herself in this music scene. I see a very bright future for her. If she's as consistent as Caligula, she's gonna be fucking remembered as one of the greatest modern industrial artists. But yeah, that's all I got. Running on 20 minutes here. Sorry about that. But yeah, very good album. Please listen to it, buy it, support it. Listen to All Bitches Die, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.